Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check it off, because we make getting vaccinated easy. You've got this, because we've got you. To learn more, visit yougotthis.usaging.org.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Well, here we are again. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. If you are a first-timer here, great, welcome. And if you are a regular, thanks for joining us once again. This is hard to believe. I'm going to share a little stat with you, but we are on show 498 today. Justin, that's pretty amazing. Yes. In 2 weeks, we will be celebrating our 500th show. We have a special guest coming, and you'll be able to watch that soon. It'll be pre-taped, so we're excited. We're going to be taping that soon, and it's just an amazing journey that we've been on here with the crew and myself all this time. That's a lot of Saturday mornings. I don't even know. I have to figure out that sometimes if we put every show back to back, how many hours? I think it's like 7 or 8 days in a row or something like that. Anyways, somebody will figure that out for me, but that'd be like 500 hours of TV. Wow. Well, anyways, thanks for joining us. And if you are anywhere in the world, I'll say good morning to those of you across the United States. Good afternoon for my friends and relatives in Europe or in the Netherlands or in Germany. To our good friends over in the Ukraine, Natalia and company, good afternoon. And if you're watching from Australia, good morning tomorrow. What? 21 days worth of TV in a row. 21 days? Holy cow. I think that's more than MASH. Anyways, good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown. Thanks for joining us Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. So if you're traveling about after today's show, which is live at the moment, you can listen to us again Tuesdays, 107.9. All right. Throughout the show, as always, you can give us a call. If you have an announcement for your club or organization, you want to ask a question or just say hi, 716-753-5225. And throughout the week, if you have an announcement and you couldn't get it on the air, just email us at chautauquasunrise@gmail.com. If you do call in, Randy's ready to take your call. If you're shy and you don't want to talk to us directly, he'll write it down on a piece of paper. No pressure whatsoever. We're here for you, our community at large, and we cover the whole county through a variety of means, so we're happy to share your information. All right, boy, oh boy, warm weather. Did you enjoy your spring? It was like a mini spring this week. 50-some degrees yesterday, and I guess it's over 50 degrees already this morning. Pretty nice, kind of a nice winter so far. And I know it's maybe not helpful to those that ski and do other kinds of winter activities, but nonetheless, just how it goes. Some years you have a lot of snow, some years you don't. But I know Brody and we're enjoying our morning walks. He's not very tall, so getting through 2 feet of snow is like not going to happen. But it's interesting because I've been seeing birds returning to the area, and ticks are coming back out on the poor dogs, and even my allergies seem to be kicking back in as soon as the weather gets warm. So it's kind of a strange February, isn't it? Well, it's going to cool down, but that's okay. Hey, Super Bowl, who cares? Anybody? Nope, nobody cares. We don't care. If I were to take a poll, basically, I would probably get a mixed review of who people are cheering for. So I'll just tell you, I guess I've always been a 49ers fan for that group. But whatever, we'll just have fun watching football. And of course, all the other events that take place. It's sort of a national holiday almost unto itself. But it's gotten kind of crazy, hasn't it? Do you see the prices of tickets? The common person, no way can afford any of that. Like, I don't know, it was like $9,000 or $10,000 for a nosebleed seat and all this millions of dollars for these suites. Fine, if you can afford it, good for you. But man, oh man, we thought the tickets were tough, locally. Anyways, it's all big business. I get it, but I hope you enjoy your day tomorrow. Get together with family. That's the best part. Lots of laughing and good food, of course, and buffalo chicken wings maybe, and pizzas, and have fun. Don't get too crazy about it. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jim McQuiston and I have just filmed Oak Island Plus number 10. It's shown here at Access Chautauqua, and it's going to be shown throughout the week of February 17th through the 23rd at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. And along with that, this show is rebroadcast at 2 and 8 every day throughout the week. And we're very, very proud of all the work we do here with Chautauqua Sunrise. And of course, Oak Island Plus is really taking a life of its own throughout the world, actually. I just had someone from England just jump on our Facebook page for the first time. And different countries, different states, and so forth. So where I'm going with this is, here we are, a local, small TV station producing shows like this, Fresh Perspectives as well, with Gail Erb. And we can get out there on social media and showcase Chautauqua County throughout the world. So how cool is that? And then with Oak Island Plus, that one definitely is international. And but we produce it right down the road in Westfield at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts. So as always, I try to promote all the cool stuff that we got going on here in Chautauqua County. And this morning's show is going to be just as cool when we talk with my guest today about some of her adventures in the United States and the leadership roles that she's taken on recently. And, it kind of, there's an old saying, that one person can lift a community just by themselves, even if it's just a millimeter lift. And that's what we have in our county. We have people like my guest coming up that help lift Chautauqua County with their own leadership skills and the ability to showcase the good things that we have here in Chautauqua County. All right, I guess I'm going to go through some announcements, and then we want to get to my guest who's anxiously waiting to come on. Okay, let's start right off the bat with slide 15, Jeff. All right. This evening, I have the singular pleasure to once again MC the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club raffle. I get to give away another $1,000 this year. I think I've done this at least a dozen or 15 times. I don't even know how many times I've done this now, both in person when we used to do it in person, and then tonight it'll be virtual. So For those of you who are listening right now, if you go to the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club Facebook page and then just like it, you can watch us live. I'll be Zooming also, but Facebook, we seem to have the greatest participation, and I'll be streaming live, announcing all the winners up till we get to, I think it's the last 10 tickets, and then from there, everybody's holding their breath because they know they're going to have a chance to win the $1,000, and there's all different prizes. There's gift certificates, and there's money awards and so forth. Lots of fun. I believe all the tickets are sold. It was only 300, so they had a chance in 1 in 300 to win $1,000. And I'll be over in Easton Hall. It's starting at 7:30, and this is our Super Valentine's Virtual Gold Rush this evening. Now, you might say, oh, where does all the money go, Rotary? Well, not a problem. Our Rotary is so awesome, it supports community service projects. We get requests from various organizations that need a little extra hand up or hand out or whatever you want to call it to help support their projects because money is still tight. We give out 4 major scholarships to schools in Brockton, Sherman, Chautauqua Lake, which includes the Ripley students, and Westfield. All right? So anyways, lots of excitement tonight, 7:30. Check us out on the Westfield Mayville Rotary Facebook page, and we'll be giving away some money. I'll be there. All right, let's go on to number 16. We get a lot of announcements from our friends over at the Reginald A. Center for the Arts. They also house WRFA 107.9, and we are good friends, and we try to help them out, and they help us out. So what's going on? We got it looks like 2 movies. Anyone But You and The Boy and the Heron. Don't know what that's about. Let's find out. And the edgy comedy Anyone But You is going to be shown February 14th, Valentine's Day, with, let's see here, B, who's played by Sydney Sweeney, and Ben, who's played by Glenn Powell. Thank goodness I can pronounce all these names. They look like the perfect couple, but after an amazing first date, something happens that turns their fiery, hot attraction ice cold until they find themselves unexpectedly thrust together at a destination wedding in Australia. So they do what any 2 mature adults would do. They pretend to be a couple. Anyone But You is rated R and is 103 minutes long. Then, Academy Awards Best Animated Feature nominee, The Boy and the Heron, will be shown next Saturday, February 17th at 4 p.m. It is the latest studio film from director Hayao Miyazaki. After losing his mother during the war, young Mahito moves to his family's estate in the countryside. There, a series of mysterious events lead him to a secluded and ancient tower, home to a mischievous gray heron, which is a big old tall bird. When Mahito's new stepmother disappears, he follows the gray heron into the tower and enters a fantastic world shared by the living and the dead. As he embarks on an epic journey with the heron as his guide, Mahito must uncover the secrets of this world and the truth about himself. The Boy and the Heron is rated PG-13. It's 124 minutes long and is presented with an English language dub featuring the voices of Robert Pattinson, Christian Bale, Mark Hamill, no relation, William Dafoe, Dave Bautista, and Florence Pugh. Tickets, $7 for most movies or $6 for family movies, and they add, of course, $1 for theater restoration fees. You can go to the box office most days, especially on Monday and Fridays, and then, of course, Wednesday. Also, you can just give them a call at 484-7070 or go online to get your tickets at Reginald A. My head gets faster than my mouth. ReginaldA.com. Rewind that one, and get your tickets there. All right, coming up next week, and Justin, get ready. Enjoy the Mayville Winter Festival. The Mayville Winter Festival is next weekend at Lakeside Park, just down the road from here on Route 394, with something on tap for everyone to enjoy. Okay, Festival Chair Brian Pender noted the festival has a long history in Mayville, going back to the inception in the 1980s when his grandfather, Don Hogan, brought the concept of an ice castle to Lakeside Park. For most of the years since then, the festival has been running with or without a castle in place. While we always hope for some winter weather for atmosphere, they're prepared to run the annual Mayville Winter Festival in any conditions with concessions, vendors, activities, fun for the whole family. Randy Egbert and I were just talking the other day about the fact he was working on one of the ice castles, and when I was in charge of the youth center, our conservation students would go over there and work on that as well, cutting ice and putting it up and building this beautiful ice castle that was lit up with all kinds of beautiful lights. So the festival will open with the lighting of a beautiful handcrafted wooden castle. 6 p.m. Friday, February 16. The showpiece was built by Tim Hull of Mayville and will be stand-in at the festival since there has not been ice on the lake to construct an ice castle this year. It will be lit up on Friday and Saturday nights and will create a nice photo backdrop for the entire event. The castle lighting will be followed immediately by the crowning of the festival king and queen. Text voting is open for the king and queen through February 12th, with information about each of the nominated couples posted on the Mayville Winter Festival Facebook page. In addition, one of their food trucks will be available from 5 to 8 p.m. As the Best of Buffalo by Byron will be open and serving from 5 to 8. You're going to have DJ Carmelo will be on hand Friday night to help set the atmosphere for a terrific launch of this event. And then on Saturday, the Winter Festival opens at 10 a.m. There will be 25 vendors under large heated tents. I like that term, heated tent. 5 food trucks, a beer and wine tent by Andriacchio's, and lots of activities, games, and things to see and do for all ages. Once again, DJ Carmelo will be back all day into the evening. The Kids Zone inside the Carlson Community Building will run from 11 to 4 p.m., featuring edible crafts for kids. Edible crafts. Run by volunteers from the JCC Occupational Therapy Program, M&T Bank. Next page, and sponsored by Wegmans. Chainsaw carving demonstrations will run from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and noon to 4 p.m. Sunday by Vince the Tree Guy. There will be cornhole and other active games. The 9th annual Polar Plunge. Randy Burt, did you hear me? The 9th annual Polar Plunge, he did that one year, by the Family Health Medical Services is set for noon Saturday. The Pet Parade by Chautauqua Dogs and North Shore Specialties at 3 p.m. is sponsored by the Best of Buffalo by Byron. The Chili Cook-Off at the Carlson Community Building will be managed by She Sings Cafe and will go from 3 to 5 p.m. Horse-drawn carriage rides by Magic Moments will be available from noon to 4 p.m. both days. A live band, my old band, the Midnight Growlers. They're going to do a great job for you. We'll play in the beer and wine tent from 5 to 8 p.m. Saturday, and there'll be a fun photo booth from the Carlson Community Building. Couldn't there be any more throughout the festival? And then there'll be a bonfire Friday evening at the park. Huge fireworks display will light up the sky over Lakeside Park at 8 p.m. by the Skylighters of New York, sponsored by the town of Chautauqua. Holy cow. And then 2 events that are tentative. I don't think it's going to happen, but there's snow sculpting contest. I don't think that's going to happen. And a snowball throwing contest from 1 to 2. So we'll see what happens. So anyways, there's all kinds of sponsors. That's going to happen next weekend. Sounds like a lot of fun. Then let's keep on going. Let's go on to slide 17. Horse-drawn carriages rides at Chautauqua. Okay, that's going to be held today and tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. both days at Chautauqua Institution. Rides are expected every Saturday and Sunday in February, as we just noted. Rides will begin at 1, leaving from the parking lot to the bookstore roughly every half hour. The last ride leaves around 3. The wagons are uncovered, so please dress for the weather. Rides may be canceled due to rain, ice, or unsafe temperatures. There are no reservations. Tickets are only $5 for adults and $3 for children and may be purchased at the bookstore. So check that out. That's going on today. Upcoming Dwyer group activities for veterans. All right, there's a winter walk February 24th, and we have been invited to attend. It's cold out there. Walk with the YWCA. It's a walk in downtown Jamestown to help fundraise for those experiencing hunger and homelessness. It's free to the group to participate. Patriots Luncheon held on Saturday 17th at Christ First Church, hosted by the Jamestown DAR. Luncheon guest speaker Wes Tessie will begin at noon, and ham and beverage provided. Then, coming up, we talked about this when Cindy Reedy was here, a gala. 2024 Dwyer Gala is scheduled for April 13th at the Harbor Hotel in Celeron. We'll be talking more about that as time goes by. And always remember, folks, for veterans, coffee hour Mondays at 10 a.m. Vets, Vietnam vets especially, and friends, coffee hour at the Christ First Church over on Lakeview Avenue in Jamestown. All right, and there's Joannie from Goodwill will be presenting her program. And I think that's it. So we're going to take a breather. We'll be right back, and stay tuned. My guest is going to be here in a second.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in New York, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Wow, that's the first time I think we've run that ad. So you can be a sports official. I haven't tried that one out. Might try that someday. I can just see that. Well, let me think about that. I don't know if they were in or out or not. People throwing things at you now. Anyways, I want to welcome back to the show a friend of mine, Stephanie Stevens, who just is doing all kinds of cool things here in Chautauqua County, and of course across the United States, really, in the world.
I hope so.
You are.
Yeah, I'm trying.
So, Steph, you are the executive director of the Westfield YWCA. How long have you been there?
I've been there 5 years. Yep, 5 years. It'll be 6 years in September.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know, I didn't know you were there the first, 3 years or something
Thanks,
like that.
that's great.
But we actually are friends. I didn't know you were there. I mean, you didn't call me.
Yeah.
It was on you. I was here. I've been here 10 years.
It's till, we joined a million boards together.
That's true.
Yeah.
We were on the ethics board for the
Yes.
county, and we were both on the board of directors for the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation.
Right.
Yeah, we see each other from time to time. I'm usually on the little screen.
Right.
Because the problem is that board and my Rotary Club all meet within like 15 minutes of each other.
Oh my gosh.
So I've got to kind of juggle everything. That's why I'm
Right.
always on Zoom.
Right. It works, though. It's very
yeah.
convenient.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. So how did you get involved with the YWCA? Let's start there.
Well, I mean, obviously, I just, interviewed and went, but when I really, looked into the mission of what YWCA is, empowering women, ending racism, strengthening communities, it's something that really resonated with me. And so I thought, you know what, let's do this. And it started out as a part-time job. And it was just going to be nice. It was just great. And it turned into so much more. It turned into a passion, and it turned into something that my heart is invested in.
There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Yes. So I've got a great board that supports me, so it starts from there. And then I decided, let's get more into trying to be bigger, do bigger things, make a bigger impact. Because, we start here and then we just keep going and keep going. So then I ran for president of the YWCAs of New York State. And I got elected, and this is my third year as president. We've got 19 YWCAs throughout New York State.
19.
19, yep, throughout New York State.
So how many in Chautauqua County? Just one?
Two.
Two.
YWCA Jamestown and YWCA Westfield.
So you're 2 of 19.
Yep, we're 2 of 19.
Why does that seem like a low number, 19 for the whole state?
Well, we make up 10% of the network. So there's about 200 throughout the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got YWCA World. We've got YWCA World Services. So we touch every place. When we are going to go on a family vacation to Bahamas, to Atlantis, there is a YWCA NASA. So I had made plans to go there and visit. They call their executive director the general secretary. Mm-hmm. And so I was going to go meet with her, but that was April of 2020. And 2020, yeah, it grounded us all. So I wasn't able, but I still am in contact with her. And I think we've talked about this on the show before, where I reached out to Natalia from Ukraine, who is the president and founder of YWCA Ukraine. And we've been in contact ever since. I think she's, we bonded instantly, and I can't wait to really sit down and have coffee with her one day where everything is calm and peaceful, and, we're both on the same field.
Well, I'm going to make you blush right now, because you and Natalia, both of you, because I'm in contact with Natalia on a regular basis on Facebook, and she posts a lot of pictures. I just want to say this, that I grew up, from the 50s on forward, and I lived and survived the women lived early stages. And I say this in the best, in the highest esteem that I can, with respect, that women took a strong role in society, leadership roles where they have been really kind of like sequestered and put to the side for many, many, many years, obviously.
Absolutely.
And so I always supported that concept. And when I see you and Natalia and others in similar roles, you are such wonderful role models for young women.
Thank you. Thank
Okay?
you.
And I say
means a
that
lot.
from my heart, okay? Because I have a daughter, and she does similar things. She's a business owner. She looks awesome. And I'm not saying that you got to do all the trappings, the makeup and all that, but strong people that are out there doing stuff. And congratulations, and please continue.
Thank you.
We need more and more of that these days.
That means a lot. I think that women have obviously come a long way,
Yeah.
and we can't stop and we can't go backward. And we always have to have a seat at the table. No matter who's at that table, we have to have a seat at that table. And I think for people like Natalia and myself, and other powerful women in this county and all over the U.S. and everywhere, it's important that we stand strong and stand by our beliefs without going crazy where it's in your face and no one wants to listen to you anymore. So I think all you have to do is get up every day and have the conversations. You don't have to be in anyone's face. You don't have to be yelling at anybody. You just have to have the conversation and be available and listen and be a good ally.
It's funny you mentioned you don't have to do anything special, because I remember in the late 60s and the 70s, it was very awkward for guys like me, because we didn't know how to respond to that movement, to that.
Right.
It was like, do I hold the door? Don't I hold the door? Do I pay the bill or don't I pay? It was like all those things that we were supposed to do, that we were trained to do as good young men, that was falling away, and it took a while to get that leveled up. And I don't know if we're there yet. I think we are. We're getting closer and closer. In my household, we're all on equal ground. There's no real, women, men, that type of thing. We're all equal.
I think that a lot of what that comes down to, because you have some of younger men today struggling with the same kind of, my mom, if I don't open this door, my mom is going to smack me, or it's like, this is what you're taught to do. And it's not about a man or a woman, because if I was standing there, I'd hold the door open for you. It's about being a good human. Mm-hmm. And that's all it's about. When I go to dinner with my girlfriends, one of us buys. We split the check. It's and it would be the same thing if you go to dinner with a man on a date or something like that. It's not the man has to pay. It's you just be a good human. That's all, and that's really what we're trying to push out there. It's not so much about a role of a man or a role of a woman. It's be a good human, be good to each other, and do what you would want done to you.
Rise above all that gender stuff and at a higher level, right?
Exactly. Like I said, I would hold the door for anybody, and I would expect if you go first, you'd hold the door, not because you're a man, because you're being a good human.
I have this terrible little anecdote. I had a friend in college, Ruth, and she was a diehard woman liberator, and she would just berate me on a regular basis about this and that and the other. And she had a bunch of books one day, and she couldn't open that door. And so, out of a joke, I walked through the door, let the door slam, and she's on the other side looking at me and ready to. I'm sure she was swearing at me, and I said, I don't want to treat you any different, and
Yes.
so we had a joke about that, and then, obviously I opened the door for her, but she was getting a little too extreme,
Right.
and I was trying to pull her a little bit to the middle. It's like,
Right.
calm down.
Right, and that's what it is. You have to be a good listener to be a good leader, and I think that's important. And then you also have to show other people how to lead, and not follow bad behavior. You have to lead, and that's really what we try to do with YWCA. It's we try not to be in your face, and I'm not going to correct you every time that you say something that I don't like. I will listen, and then I'll try to figure out where that's coming from, and what's going on with that.
So let's start at the local level and then work up your recent experiences. I'm not going to give it away at the moment, okay? So let's talk about in Westfield, Western Chautauqua County, however you want to look at this geographically. What's your mission or role for young women at the Y? And I see men there too, so I mean it's open to almost everybody. It looks like.
Well, I mean, our mission, of course, is to empower women
Okay.
and racism, strengthen our communities, and really in Chautauqua County on that level. I guess on any of the levels, but it's to strengthen our community, because if we strengthen our community, we're going to empower women that way. We strengthen families, we're going to empower our mothers to work and to not, just be the role of a mother, or not just be a role of a wife, but to be able to do it all.
Okay,
and have help.
how are you doing that? How are you rolling those concepts out?
Right. Well, we do a lot of different things, but I mean, we have great quality childcare before and after school program in Westfield schools. We're in Ripley too, but it wasn't needed as much as it is in Westfield.
Right.
So we've got our before and after school program that's a good quality program. So this empowers our families to be able to work confidently and know where their kids are. We have a tutor that comes in. Your child will have a healthy snack, have all their homework done, and have all that energy burned off, because we have Westfield Rec that comes in as well, and does programs like that. So when you pick your child up, we're empowering those families to spend family time together. And not just hurry up, do your homework. Oh, I know you're starving. Don't eat those chips. It's okay. Your child is relaxed and ready to be with his family. So.
I remember when our kids were little, and even today, when my grandchildren are small yet, I think the number one pressure point in a family is childcare.
Absolutely.
The cost of childcare is through the roof. It's hard to find. Hard to find quality childcare. So good. Thank you for doing those things, because quite frankly, and I'm glad to do this, but some of our family members, we have like a group text chat group of the family, and it's like, can anybody watch so and so this week?
Right.
And because we can't, because it's a holiday and childcare is closed or whatever. So I got to do grandpa duty from time to time. Gladly. But it's like, I don't want to say it's panic leveled, but there's times where it's sort of like, can you please pick up so and so at noon today because they're sick and there is no other option.
Right.
So a lot of times we think, oh, we're all done raising our kids. It's a whole cycle. We gotta, because our parents took care of our kids when we were working.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that is not just unique to our county. It's statewide. It's
worldwide.
throughout the world.
My friends in Germany, they have the same issues.
Absolutely, and I think that's we're always going to, but we really need to make sure that we have options and that we've got good quality.
And traditionally, the responsibility always seemed to fall on the mom. You got to stay home. I got to go to work.
Yeah. Unfortunately, during COVID, a lot of that happened, so it was kind of a recession, but they're calling it like a she-session, because a lot of women had to step down and stay home. And it wasn't necessarily because she's the mother, but it's just what happened. Yeah. And so now everyone's trying to get acclimated again, back in the workforce, back to where they were, and make sure the kids are taken care of. And then we also have our basketball courts. The kids come and play basketball. We do need volunteers to keep that open more. We would like to have more hours. Our board is gracious enough to be open manning the basketball courts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you go down to the Y and you want to play basketball, you're going to see Board President Catherine Bronstein sitting at the desk. So, and the Vice President Beth Patry, she's running the whole schedule of volunteers, and it's just wonderful to see, how they kick in. So when you say, oh, a YWCA board or YWCA, they do the work. They get up and do the hard work. They walk the walk and talk the talk, the whole thing. So it's good.
So those sound like there's programs that you run for childcare. Sounds like you have some recreational activities. Do you have like a speakers bureau that comes in, or women meetings, or what else goes on in there?
Yeah, we've got meetings almost every day of the week there at the YWCA. Rotary comes in.
Yes, we do.
And you're every other week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, every other week. And then we've got our women who come in and play cards every Thursday, and it's nice. It's somewhere they go. It's quiet. They play cards. I think it's 12 to 3, and it's somewhere they can meet, that you don't have to buy
quiet,
something or
warm.
yeah. So we've really got a lot going on today. We're closed for a private event that's there. We've had weddings there, so lots of different organizations meet there. Night Owls and the quilting.
Okay.
Stuff.
And there's an aspect of the Y that I did not know till you told me one day of what's upstairs. I didn't even know what was going on there.
We have 5 Airbnbs upstairs.
That blew me away. I didn't know that.
Everybody says that. Oh my gosh, 5 Airbnbs, and it's great. They're newly remodeled, and during COVID, we got all that finished, and so every room has its own bathroom, and then we have the shared kitchen. Our kitchen is really large, so you can. A lot of people will have like a family gathering, and the out-of-town guests will stay upstairs, and they'll have their Thanksgiving or their Christmas, their Easter, and we've got traveling nurses that come in and stay upstairs, and anybody who's coming through really. But it's nice because you also get full access to our fitness center. So you can stay upstairs, you can work out, you can cook your meal, and go about your business. So.
I bet most people don't even know that those rooms are there. That's why I like to bring it up.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure it's not a secret. So what would it cost for somebody to spend the night there?
It's about $70.
$70?
Yeah.
Plus a gym?
A gym, full kitchen, the assembly room.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Very nice.
And within walking distance of downtown Westfield, and driving distance of Chautauqua Institution and all the wineries that are so fun to go to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Okay, for those that are watching somewhere throughout the country, and they may be coming through this area, where is the Y?
58 South Portage.
Okay.
Right, real close to the center of town.
And it's also known as Route 394.
Okay.
Right? No,
Yes,
because I have
You're
a friend
right.
that doesn't go by streets, he goes by route numbers.
Route, yeah, you're right. I never think of it that way. Mhm.
Right, because locally it's Portage, and then of course the other way it's
Right.
394.
Right.
So, and you're right, it's really in the heart of Westfield, and it's so central to so many things. Some of the events I just mentioned earlier, it's not like 10 minutes away from everything.
We've been there 129 years.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay. Recently, you and I got to do something together that was so much fun.
Right.
And Jeff, you got a picture of that, I think, that you could pop up. Let's talk about that. It was
I'm scared when you say pull a picture up. I didn't know how to prove that. No, I'm just kidding.
So let's talk about the fact that you honored women recently, 7
Yes.
women, as I recall. And let's share the aftermath.
The aftermath. It was so fun. Wasn't it fun?
It was.
Yeah, we had our Women of Distinction Gala. It was our first ever. And it was, we had 7 women that we were honoring that really do a lot for their community. And we had a dinner at Chautauqua Institution at the Athenaeum. And we had a great MC. He was so funny. Kept us all laughing and having a good night.
I don't even know how that happens. You just kind of pick things out as you go along.
Oh my gosh, you did great.
Thank you.
Everybody was so happy, and
Right.
it was a really good night.
Right. And once again, you're honoring women that are strong women, that were business women, that were community leaders. I mean, it was really, really cool. And I thank you for the opportunity to MC that event. And as we're going along, Jeff will find the picture and pop it up, and then we'll come back to it. But it was the one you posted this morning.
Oh, right.
So
right.
it's safe.
Okay, good.
You picked it. I didn't pick it. But it's a great shot of both of us at the podium there.
Right.
And that room was full. I mean,
was.
I don't even, how many people? It was a couple hundred, right?
Well, we had about 130 people there.
It looked like more than that.
Yeah, it did. It felt like it when I was looking out.
I couldn't walk through there.
It did.
Excuse me.
People are excited to support us, and we try to support our community and go to events and make sure that, I said this at the gala, and I say it every time I'm speaking somewhere, that the nonprofit world is like a body, and if you're not supporting, the whole body, if you take off a leg, you can't walk and nobody can move forward.
Right.
So you have to support it all as a whole, and you can't say, "Oh, just support my nonprofit." It's not going to work that way, and you won't be strong. So it was nice to look out into the room and see United Way was there, the Community Foundation, Diane was there, Amy Ruler, and we invited Adam that was the former executive director of the United Way, who's just always been wonderful. And then just to see everybody in the crowd smiling back. The Post-Journal was our major sponsor, and they were fabulous.
I agree. When I looked out across the crowd, I was counting how many people had been on my show.
Yeah, exactly. Probably
they were movers and shakers. They were the people of our community, and then others, of course, that I knew from other circles. But it was like friends getting together, celebrating, and it was. I know the women, when I spoke with them, were very humbled.
They were.
By that, and they weren't like ostentatious. This is all about me. I mean, they were like.
Yes. But that's why they have those awards, because they're not expecting it, And if you ask them what boards they're on, they have papers, and what they've done, where they volunteered, and when I started doing this, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but a good amount of people would say, well, why are you doing that? How much do you get paid to be on that board? Or it's like. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Oh, I don't know how many boards I've been on. I didn't make a dime.
Right.
Because that's not how it works.
But that's not how it works. And that's not how you strengthen a community when you're expecting a profit out of it in that respect.
And I couldn't even count how many boards, because I'm not trying to be smart here, but I've been on a lot of boards.
Sure.
I've gotten more out of being on the board than I think I gave the board, because I've learned so much and helped me grow and know things. We were just an incredible county here.
100%.
Okay, so local scene, you're really active, and you got something coming up in July, because I'm gonna move us up here in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the July coming up.
We have our 52nd Arts and Crafts Festival, and that's in the end of July. Get your spaces now if you'd like to participate. We had a giant year last year with the amount of vendors that we have, and we've got food, and we've got bands, and just so much.
So fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's one of our biggest weekends in Westfield.
And it's always in the end of July.
Yes.
Okay, and there are always big banners across the street and that sort of thing. And I remember when it was at its peak, I mean, there was no room in that park for anything, and I think you're getting there again,
We're there. Yeah, we're there, and we just keep looking for ways that we can expand it even further. Right. Because everybody has different tastes. So say, you go there for the whole handmade jewelry, someone might not want that. They'd rather have artwork, and go that way. So we've got really something for everybody.
That's
Get
awesome.
all your Christmas shopping done there.
So if someone's listening right now and they would like to participate, how do they get a hold of you?
They can call Monday through Friday, 9 to 12, 326-2011, or they can just go on our website and get all our information there.
Want to see two really good-looking people? Take it away, Jeff. Or we can end the show. He's going to pop something up here in a second. I just know he is.
That's hilarious.
There we are.
There we are. Right there we are. That's us.
Mouth is always open.
Yeah, we were talking. Well, I think you were
Look.
making me laugh about something. You can see I'm laughing. We're laughing. Yes. Well, you kept catching me off guard and asking me questions, and you're like, "We talked about this." I'm like,
Yeah, I know. You said, well, ask me this question as a lead, and I go, I ask you the question, you're looking at me like,
I know. I'm
Okay.
getting better with it.
Okay, we had fun that night. Okay, so we talked about the local level with the Y in Westfield. We talked about the big activity coming up, but now you mentioned New York State, and you're the president of 19 Ys.
Right.
Okay, so what do you do there?
Well, my goodness, as you know, as president of any organization, you know firsthand that you just kind of do it all, and it's a great honor to be the president of the YWCAs of New York State. Right now, what we're doing is hiring a lobbyist to get us into the places where we need to be. If you look at any other nonprofit, say YMCAs, they have about 30 lobbyists everywhere. Everywhere something's going on, there's a YMCA representative there. So we just hired a group out of, it's called the Hollis Group, out of New York City, and to be our lobbyists. So they will go for us and advocate for us.
So now you're talking about at the state level in Albany?
They'll be in Albany, they'll be in DC, they'll be in New York City.
So what would they lobby for instance?
Well, the 19 YWCAs really encompass everything you would need between domestic violence, housing, childcare, racial justice. There's, strengthening our communities and just being we are actually, the YWCAs of New York State are a 501c4. We're one. And we are the only state that has formed like that out of all of the YWCAs throughout the U.S. So we did that so we could advocate at a higher level.
Okay. So for instance, if there was you as a statewide group say this year we want to focus on domestic violence, I'm making this up as we go, then you would ask these lobbyists to represent you in legal forums, discussions at the state level, for instance, contact local assemblymen, state senators, and say, look, this is a hot button issue and we really need your support on a bill, perhaps?
Yes. Yeah, and currently that's what I'll go in and do. And I do it at the level that I'm at, and I can talk about what I know and what's true to my heart. They kind of go in on a higher level, more not on an emotional level, and because when I go in and ask for money for domestic violence or child care, I know that Myra in Rochester, she needs that money and we've got to get that, and that's how it's got to be. They go in on a level of why certain bills need to be passed, and that kind of way, not on an emotional.
What's a hot button issue right now that they're working on? Do you know?
Childcare. Childcare's big.
Wow.
Childcare's big.
So what would they be advocating for? More money for the local childcare to start up, funding, tax breaks, all the above?
Yep, all of it. A really quality childcare that is sustainable. They stopped a lot of our funding in September 30th. And we had a lot of money coming in from COVID, and a lot of that dropped. And so we went in December and went and talked to Chuck Schumer's office and other people there and in DC, and just really said, look, this is important. And one thing that it's hard for me to grasp is that, okay, it's not just domestic violence, it's not just childcare, it's not just housing. This is, as a human, everything you need. I can't say to you, you just need food, not air. You don't need air.
Right.
You just need food.
Yeah.
That's not it. You need food. You need a roof over your head. You need oxygen. You need a whole bunch of things. Mental health. It's a lot, so it's hard to just go in and have just one drive. It's not just one thing.
Yeah, it's the whole package.
So what the lobbyists do, though, they'll narrow that down. Whereas as president, I go in and I'll give you the whole thing.
So, as president of New York State YWCA, you meet in Albany. Where do you meet?
It's different. We every year we're trying to improve on how we meet and make sure that it's always efficient and it's always we're getting the work done that we say we're going to get done. I mean, I run my meetings by the minute. If we start at 9 o'clock, we start at 9, and one speaker goes to 9:06, 9:08, 9:08, that kind of stuff. I want to make sure we're getting what we need done. We were meeting in Albany. But that wasn't always the best place to meet because they're not always in session, and there's just not a lot going on all the time. So now we've broken it down into 4 meetings throughout the year. We'll do New York City, we'll do Albany area. We're actually going to Atlanta. That's where our national conference is this year, and then Western New York.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so we went from the Westfield level. We took you now to the state level.
Right.
All right. So now, as president of New York State, you recently went to D.C.
Right.
Okay. Now, were you meeting with all the other presidents of all the other 49 states?
No. We went. I was invited to the White House to be part of a series through the Biden-Harris administration called Communities in Action.
You got a letter?
Yeah, I had an invitation
How did you get a letter?
and everything.
I never get a letter.
I don't know. I get holiday cards too. It's pretty exciting. I do. It's still new to me. So
We
I'm
have to
like,
do better, guys. All right, so you get this invitation from the administration.
Yes, and
To go to the White House?
right.
I've never been to the White House.
Right. It was pretty neat. I was trying not to be starstruck, and I'm.
Did it work?
No. If you look at any of my videos that I posted, I was like, oh my gosh! And then then the staff would be like, stop it, get over here, stop taking pictures. Yeah. And I was like, oh, sorry.
Selfie!
Yeah. They're like, you're.
George Washington, Martha Washington, Mrs. Lincoln.
Exactly. They're like, you're here to work. I was like, yes, I'm here to work. Sorry.
Okay, so walk me through from the first minute you get to the White House through. What'd you do?
Right. Well, we had to get all the security,
Oh,
and there were weeks of prep just to be getting all your license, and then they wanted a bio and the headshots. And
What kind of license?
My driver's license.
Oh, identification. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I gotcha.
Yes, and so getting in, and then I did take a selfie with a security guard, and he was like, "Why?" Like I tried to do with Justin, wouldn't take one with me today. I'm gonna have to sneak one in with him. But and then I quite honestly, I thought that I was being invited as just a seat filler, kind of. Oh, we invited a women's organization. That's what I
Right.
thought. And once we got there, I thought it was going to be more of like an auditorium, and it was a room like this big, and they put me in the front row.
How did you get to that point?
I really don't know.
Okay.
I said, did my high school teachers call and say, you better put her in the front row, she's not going to pay attention. But once I got there and saw everybody else who was there,
So you're in a room about the size of the studio at the White House.
Yes.
Front row.
Yeah, front row. There were, the mayor of Rochester was there, and heads of nonprofit organizations, and just leaders in their communities. Like I said, there were mayors there. There were just everybody. I was kind of looking around like, all right, I've got to really
So was
step
this
up.
from New York State group, or this is across the country?
This was New York State. So they
Okay.
do communities in action for every state.
Okay.
They haven't done every state yet, but this is what they're starting. It's a series.
Okay.
And bringing local community leaders together
Wow.
who make changes within their communities to talk about what's needed and what we need in New York State.
So not only did you represent New York, you represented Chautauqua County.
Yeah, my little
No
thing
pressure.
at home. You can ask my daughter. It says Stephanie Stevens, YWCA Westfield. My little name tag.
She's shaking her head, so
Right.
she's backing you.
Right. So I was representing Westfield, and I was representing YWCA's of New York State as well. And luckily, I am on different boards, and I know what's needed in this community, and I know what's needed in New York State. And so, you know how I am. If I have to prepare a speech or do something, I get too nervous.
Yes,
and
I know. Breathe, Steph. Breathe.
He says to me, breathe.
Breathe.
I'm like,
Take it easy.
okay. Well, when I got there, I thought it was going to be like that, and they kept looking at me like, okay, it's going to be your turn. It's going to be your turn. And I grabbed that microphone and I was ready to go.
Good for you.
I know what we need, and I know how to get it, and I wanted to tell them.
Wow.
So-
So who else was in the room from the administration?
I was allowed to have 2 people with me, so I brought our the YWCA Rochester President and CEO Myra Henry, and then the President and CEO of YWCA Mohawk Valley, Diane Stancato.
Okay.
And Diane is also the treasurer for the YWCA's of New York State, and Myra is our secretary.
Okay, so you brought 3 from the state, and now who was there for the Biden administration?
Oh, there were
Different like department secretaries and things like this?
Yeah, all different departments talking about completely different things. I mean, from transportation to childcare to domestic violence and housing. So the first half of the meeting was there's press there, the first half. And then they closed the doors and said, okay, tell us.
Let's talk.
Yeah, and that's where we all just...
Is this all-day event?
Yeah.
They feed you?
No, they did not feed us or give us water.
Well,
I know.
so it wasn't an opulent, over-the-top festival, wasted
work.
taxpayer money.
It was work, and we didn't take a lot of pictures. We didn't have a big lunch or coffees and waters. I mean, I got more here.
You are welcome.
But we were there to work.
So just one day?
Just one day, yeah. And but I always bring my Sour Patch Kids, so I had candy and coffee all day. So
Oh my gosh.
I was, but it was.
So when you left
great.
Washington, did you feel positive, jubilant, hopeful? How did you leave?
Absolutely, absolutely. Whenever I get to speak about what is important and what's going to help people in some little, even if it's a little tiny way, I feel great. And it's not necessarily because of the Biden-Harris administration and talking to them. It was more so talking to who was in the room.
Yeah.
And talking to them because they were just as passionate about what they needed.
They're the worker bees, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And, after the event, we all went to dinner, and you just kind of all mingle at the same place. And we talked to other people that were passionate about their nonprofits and what they need. So.
That's interesting. They focused on one state as a whole. So was Schumer there?
I went to his office and talked to his staff, but he was not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they got schedules. Steph, we got like a minute left. What do you want to tell people?
Be a good human, really. There's no right or wrong if you're being a good human. That's really what I try to tell my kids and my family, and what I try to push out to help strengthen our communities is be a good human.
You might make mistakes, but that's how we learn, right?
100%, and just listen.
Okay, and as far as anything going on at the Y that you want people to know about?
That Arts and Crafts Festival. Register
And
today.
a phone number again.
716-326-2011, or they can go to our website as well.
Okay. Steph, thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And I wasn't just, trying to butter you up earlier, but I really am proud to work with you on 2 boards, and the fact that you're here today representing all of that you talked about. I mean, that's pretty unique.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
Good
it's
for
a lot
you.
of fun.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
Well, absolutely. And, you're always welcome to come on anytime that we have an opening, or, you can sit over this side, as you know, we've done before, and share some things. And so come back, talk about the Arts Festival this summer, and we'll keep in touch.
I will do that. Thank you.
All right. You're very welcome. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My guest today has been the extraordinary, awesome person, Stephanie Stevens, YWCA Executive Director, the President of New York State YWCAs, and a former Speaker at the White House. I gotta give you some crazy title. We got so many good things lined up for the rest of the year, and I hope that you enjoyed today's show and know there's people that care about what you all do out there. So please support the Y and other agencies that have similar passion. I'm Doc Hamels saying we'll see you next time, and thanks for joining us. Take care now. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.